The Diamond League season was supposed to start in Doha on May 8th, but before the first gun even fired, the whole opening plan changed. Safety concerns pushed Doha to June 19th, moved the meet to Khalifa International Stadium, and handed Shanghai Keqiao the new opening spotlight. Now athletes, coaches, and fans are looking at a very different season. This is not just a small date change. This is the kind of move that can shake the first 2 months of track and field. Doha was supposed to be the first stop. It was supposed to be the first big test. It was supposed to tell us who came out of winter training ready, who needed more time, and who was already sending warning signs to the rest of the world. But now that first test is gone, and that is why Doha's delay just sent shockwaves through track and field. The original plan looked simple. The Diamond League would begin in Doha on May 8th at Qatar Sports Club. Athletes would travel to Qatar, open their outdoor season, test their form, and then move into the next meets with real race data. That matters because early season races are not just about winning. They are about timing. They are about rhythm. They are about finding out if the body is ready for harder races later. Then the schedule changed. The Doha meet was moved to June 19th. It was also shifted to Khalifa International Stadium, a stadium with temperature control that has already hosted major track events, including the 2019 World Championships. That detail matters because June in Doha is not the same as early May. The heat risk becomes a much bigger part of the story. So this was not only about moving a meet, it was about protecting athletes and spectators while trying to save the event. But here is where the shock begins. When Doha moved, the Diamond League season lost its planned opening night. That opening spot now belongs to Shanghai Keqiao on May 16th. One city's delay became another city's chance. And overnight, Shanghai Keqiao went from being an early stop to becoming the first major signal of the season. That changes everything. Athletes do not build their year by accident. They pick races for a reason. Some want a fast opener. Some want strong competition. Some want travel that fits their training cycle. Some want to test one event before running another. Coaches plan around those dates. Agents plan around those dates. Sponsors plan around those dates. Fans plan around those dates too. When the first meet moves by 6 weeks, the ripple does not stay in Doha. It moves through the whole calendar. And that is the part many people miss. A sprinter who wanted to open on May 8th now has to decide whether to wait, change races, or enter Shanghai Keqiao. A middle-distance runner who wanted one hard race before the next block of training may now need a new plan. A field event athlete who built their early rhythm around Doha may have to change travel, recovery, and competition timing. That sounds small until you understand one thing. Track athletes are not machines. They peak at certain times. They need the right races at the right moment. Open too early, and the body may not be sharp. Open too late, and you may lose race rhythm. Open in the wrong conditions, and the result may not tell the full truth. That is why the Doha delay matters. It changes what athletes know about themselves, and for a sport built on tiny margins, that can be huge. Think about the difference between training fast and racing fast. In training, an athlete can look strong. The times can look good. The body can feel ready, but race day tells the truth. The call room feels different. The crowd feels different. The pressure feels different. The first 100 meters, the first jump, the first throw, the first barrier, all of it tests nerves as much as fitness. Doha was supposed to give athletes that test. Now many of them have to wait, and waiting can be dangerous, because while one athlete waits, another athlete races. While one athlete protects training, another athlete builds confidence. While one coach adjusts, another coach gets answers. That is why Shanghai Keqiao now becomes so important. It is no longer just the next meet on the calendar. It is the new season opener. It becomes the first scoreboard. It becomes the first place where stars can make a statement. It becomes the first moment where fans can say, that athlete is ready, or something looks off. And that pressure did not exist in the same way before. Shanghai Keqiao now carries the weight Doha was supposed to carry. That is the first big shock. The second shock is travel. People often talk about track and field like the only thing that matters is race day. But travel can change a performance before the athlete ever reaches the track. Long flights matter. Sleep matters. Food matters. Climate matters. Time zones matter. A changed schedule can force athletes to make choices they did not want to make. Do they fly to China earlier? Do they skip Shanghai Keqiao and wait for another meet? Do they enter a smaller race to stay sharp? Do they save their legs for June? None of those choices are easy, and each choice carries risk. If an athlete races in Shanghai Keqiao and performs poorly, people may panic too early. If they skip it, fans may wonder why. If they wait until June, they may enter the season behind others who already have race sharpness. That is the trap. The Doha delay did not only move one meet, it created pressure around every decision after it, and that leads to the third shock. The June 19th date puts Doha in a very different place on the calendar. It now comes after several Diamond League stops have already happened. Shanghai Keqiao opens the season on May 16th. Xiamen follows on May 23rd. Rabat comes on May 31. Rome is on June 4th. Stockholm is on June 7th. Oslo is on June 10th. Then Doha arrives on June 19th. That means Doha is no longer the first question. It becomes a mid-season checkpoint. That changes the feel of the meet. On May 8th, Doha would have been about first signs. On June 19th, it becomes about confirmation, correction, and pressure. By then, athletes may already have results. Some will arrive with confidence. Some will arrive needing answers. Some may arrive trying to fix a slow start before the summer gets serious. That makes Doha more intense in a different way. It may not open the season anymore, but it could still expose who is rising and who is in trouble. And that is why this story has layers. At first glance, people may say, the meet was postponed. But no, the opening meet in a Diamond League season is more than a date. It sets the tone. It gives fans the first major storylines. It gives athletes their first public test. It gives event groups their first real ranking in the eyes of the world. Now that role shifts to China. Shanghai Keqiao now gets the spotlight. Doha moves to June. That makes the middle of the calendar tighter, and athletes have less room for mistakes. Now fans have one big question. Who handles the change best? This delay is not only about Doha. It tests who can stay calm and adjust fast. The best athletes are not just fast. They know when to race, when to rest, and when to change plans. Doha was supposed to give fans the first big story of the season. Now Shanghai Keqiao has to do that. That makes the first meet more important. A big race, jump, or throw in Shanghai Keqiao will become the first major headline. But a bad race, weak finish, missed height, or poor throw can also become the first warning sign. Everyone will be watching. Doha still matters, but now it matters in a different way. By June 19th, the season will already be moving. Some athletes may be strong, some may be tired, some may need a comeback. That makes Doha a serious mid-season test. This delay changed more than one date. It changed travel plans, training plans, race rhythm, and fan expectations. Doha moved, but the pressure did not disappear. It spread across the season. Now athletes must answer one hard question. Do they change the plan or trust the plan? That is why this is more than a schedule update. The Diamond League was supposed to start in Doha on May 8th. Instead, Doha moved to June 19th. Shanghai Keqiao became the new opener. Khalifa International Stadium became Doha's new venue. Track and field got its first big shock before the first race even started.